Film Festival, and we are very honored to have you here today. And you are a part of the U.S. Indie programmer, correct?
Yeah.
And you help do the selections of the films. There's 148 films throughout this festival, and she does a portion of the selection of these films. And would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's really awesome to be here. I'm Celeste Wong. I am the U.S. Indies programmer for the Mill Valley Film Festival, which basically means that I curate a selection of films for the festival that's U.S. fiction feature films that are independently made, so they don't have like a studio attached or anything like that. So it's a small portion of the festival, but I'm part of a larger programming team that curates the whole festival of shorts, documentaries, international films. So we all work together to build the final program that you'll see.
Yeah, I'm glad. And we went to the Mill Valley Film Festival last year as well, and we'll be talking about that also later in the show and your position a little more. And before we get started, we always like to do a little icebreaker question. And my icebreaker for today is, what is your favorite show or movie?
Ooh, such a hard question, but I love it.
Heavy question there.
Heavy question.
No, I love it though. I mean, it's impossible to choose like a favorite, but I love talking about movies and TV, so it's just a great opportunity. Okay, let me think. Should I do both TV and movies?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why not? I will say one of my favorite TV shows just ended. It's called Reservation Dogs.
I've never heard of it.
It's so good.
Is
so good. It's on FX, and so it's streaming on Hulu. I guess I'm just plugging it now, but it's just a really incredible show, and it just ended. But I really think that it will like have such a place in like rewatchability and just like the history of television. Incredible show.
What is it about?
And then so it's a coming of age television show about a group of friends that all grew up on the same Native American reservation, and they're kind of at that age where they're sort of figuring out what to do next in their life. It's gone on for 3 seasons, so we see them over the course of some time while they like figure out their lives. You also get to know a little bit of the lives of their parents and their grandparents and the generations that came before them, and how they all live together in this community. And it's just so beautifully, I think, what TV shows are able to do with the length of time that they have, if they're given the episodes that they need. They can explore so much depth into every character, even someone you thought was like just kind of a side character in the background, and this show does that so beautifully.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, highly recommend. Film. Okay. Let's see. It's so hard.
I imagine.
I will say, since we're here in the Bay Area and I live in Oakland, I'll say an Oakland film. One of my favorite films is the film Blind Spotting that came out, I believe, in 2018. So it's relatively new as well. But it's just like an amazing, super Oakland film. Written by David Diggs and Rafael Casal, who are from Oakland and rep it really hard. So yeah, love that one.
And did you grow up in Oakland?
I grew up in Berkeley. So
you grew up in Berkeley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
East Bay person, didn't stray very far.
Totally fine. We didn't either.
Yeah.
And Javier?
Yeah, for me, like I said, it's a very hard question, but I definitely have to say, I probably wouldn't be my favorite movie. It's just hard right now to think about that, but I would say Nacho Libre is one of my favorite movies, though, for sure.
Nacho?
Awesome.
Nacho Libre. I love that movie.
Sounds familiar.
It's the one with Jack Black where he plays like the wrestler.
Oh, wait, yeah. I've definitely seen that.
Yeah. That movie's just the pacing, just the good energy. Jack Black just kills it. Like I just love Jack Black. He's
really
great.
He's amazing.
He's so good, and that movie I think is just so awesome because it's like it's something like, it's like, wow, like a guy who works at a church and then he wants to, become a wrestler for the kids. And it's just like, there's a cool message. And it's just also just such a fun time to just watch. And I never get tired of that movie. So Nacho Libre is definitely up there. And then for show, we were just talking about this earlier, but I definitely would say probably BoJack Horseman. I really enjoy BoJack Horseman.
I've seen it. Like, I've seen like the little, what is it? The title of it on Netflix, but that's it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But I've never like
Netflix
clicked
pushes it all the time, but very heavy show. I think it just does a good job of portraying like mental health from a rich guy's perspective. I think like just a guy, but with like, with an abusive family. So it's like just kind of like leading up to that. Like everything that leads up to kind of BoJack's like mental breakdown throughout the end of the series, it's like it's so very well done, and it's just the show is just like it does a good job of mixing like comedy, drama, and just like thriller, like all into like all sorts of genre. It just portrays it very well, and it's animated, so that makes for some really interesting scenes. So yeah.
Wow, thank you guys both for sharing. For me, I don't watch many movies, so I can't really think of anything that I'm like, oh, I really love that.
Well, did you watch something recently that you?
I was gonna say like my favorite TV show. Oh, I would say I have like two. I would say Criminal Minds and Grey's Anatomy. Totally different shows, but I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy right now. I'm on like season 13. But I really love it because I am going into the medical field, so it's kind of nice watching it.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
That's cool. Have you watched Scrubs?
Oh, no, but I've heard of it. I've heard that it's good, but I haven't watched it. Maybe
Scrubs
after
is really
Grey's.
good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like good like medical shows, and I'm like, but there's so many seasons.
So many seasons.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys both for sharing. Now we're gonna move on from us talking about our favorite shows and movies, and we're just gonna dive into this. And so the first question is, what is the Mill Valley Festival? I know it's a film festival, clearly, but can you give us a more bigger aspect on what it is?
Yeah, for sure. So the Mill Valley Film Festival, it's in its 46th year, so it's been going on for quite a while. It's a film festival, an international film festival here in Marin County. It takes place in San Rafael and Mill Valley. We also have venues in Larkspur, San Francisco, and Berkeley, but the main kind of hubs are in San Rafael and Mill Valley.
Right.
So it's an international festival, which means there's films from all over the world. We have short films as well as feature-length films, documentaries, as well as fiction films. So it's kind of like a bunch of everything all jumbled together. And yeah, it's been going on for 46 years.
That's a long
time. I didn't even know it was going on for that long.
Me either.
I mean, have you heard of the Mill Valley Film Festival though before we went last year?
I honestly first heard about it last year when we got invited to it.
Yeah.
That's the only time.
So last year we got invited to watch
Charcoal.
I
really liked it.
I love Charcoal.
That movie was real. I didn't know what I was going into watching that movie, and I was like, wow, this movie's full of twists and turns.
It's like the actors weren't talking as much, but it was pretty like intense because you knew what was happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to meet the actors in as well and the director, and we took photos with them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, Carol in Majev.
Yeah.
Majev. I don't know how to say her name.
Yeah, my Portuguese is horrible, so I don't know. But
probably better than mine. So.
But it was a really cool experience, and what I've found, and as I've looked through the programming for this year's event, which I mean we'll talk more about it, but like it seems like there's just more than just films. There's like activities, there's events going on, and it's just cool to know that this is here in Marin County, because I mean I've heard of the Mill Valley Film Festival, but I never, as I was growing up, I never really was like, okay, well, am I interested in it? Not really.
Yeah.
Just at a young age, I was just like,
totally.
But I had heard of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And I mean, even after 46 years, like there's still a lot of work to be done in terms of, outreach and making our space open and friendly and welcoming. And
no, but it's a super great event. I mean, when we were there last year, it was awesome.
Amazing. I thought we went to like the after party as well, and it was like really nice. Yeah, the food was really good too. They had, I think, a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, they had
there.
a whole lot of catered.
Yeah,
a lot
at
of
Los
catering.
Moles.
Yeah,
I remember.
I
was there.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I know. I'm sad we didn't meet.
Yeah. Later, we're here again.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to your point, we have a bunch of events as well. I should have mentioned that. It's not just films. It's, panel conversations, master classes, other events that are more kind of like interactive with the audience, and open. There's some free events that are open to anyone. There's some family-friendly events, geared towards all ages, but especially, kids. So yeah, there's really something for everyone there.
And for the Mill Valley Film Festival, why was this created? Do you know why, like where this came up from?
Yeah, I can try my best. I've been involved for about 5 years, so I don't. Everything I know from before is kind of the stories that I've heard. But yeah, no, it was founded by our executive director Mark Fishkin, who, and I guess I should also mention that the Mill Valley Film Festival is put on by the California Film Institute, which owns and operates the Smith Rafael Film Center. Right here downtown San Rafael. So it's born from that, a love of having this space to bring film lovers, to bring independent filmmakers, to really support independent filmmakers and their films before they get, any kind of like official theatrical run or come out in theaters or come out, nowadays it's streaming and all that. But 46 years ago, it was not quite that. But yeah, so just born out of a love of supporting those filmmakers and trying to really create and bring that community to Marin County.
Wow, and it's international, so worldwide.
Yeah.
How is the process with that?
Yeah, so I'll shout out the World Cinema programmer João Federici, who programmed the film Charcoal last year as well. Perhaps you met him.
I've met him. He's Brazilian, right?
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
He's a Brazilian. We met him very briefly.
Wait, what's his name again?
João Federici.
We've met him. He's a super. And also, like, speaking of shout outs, like, also shout out to Kala.
Yeah.
So Kala was kind of who helped us even create this opportunity with Tay to participate in the Mill Valley Film Festival. So she's great. And Katie is actually taking over for Kala now. So shout out to both of them.
Lots of shout outs. No, creating these relationships is like so awesome. Really, really like helps make the festival more special. So that's really cool that you were able to come last year and this year. Hope to see you around too. But yeah, no, João Federici is the World Cinema programmer. So he really puts in a lot of work, like really year round, just in terms of like researching the films coming out of really every country that's not the US. And puts in a lot of research, goes to different film festivals around the world and like sees films there, meets filmmakers, talks to them, so that he can kind of like build his list and narrow it all down over the course of like really kind of a whole year. So it's a long process.
And I think you also mentioned that you guys have to watch all these films, right? So how is that process?
Yeah, it's I can't complain. I watch films for a living, so it's kind of like a dream job, honestly, for me. Yeah, it's the best. But it does require like some discipline. I learned, which I just kind of learned by having to do it, to watch like hundreds of films. And these films, they're so varied. They're varied in terms of like, of course, like the budget that they have and the resources that they have to make films and the stages, in their experience. So it's really, really interesting to watch films at these like various different stages and to see that process. I have so much respect for filmmakers. It's nearly impossible to get a film made and just requires so much passion and love for the art that, they all deserve all the time and consideration and respect when I'm watching them. So
totally.
So yeah, it's just a matter of spending, many, many hours out of my day in a dark room watching films, taking notes, evaluating them. often kind of rewatching them sort of later on too, because once you've watched so many, your brain's a little mushy, and you have to go back and revisit some. So yeah, it can be kind of an intense process, more intense than maybe it sounds just watching movies, but it's amazing. I love it.
And is it you, when you said you're in a dark room, I kind of just imagined like you and like your team. Is it all of you guys together watching it, or you guys watch it individually?
Sometimes, mostly it's individually. Mostly I'm working remote, so it's the dark room is just like my little apartment, and where I spend almost all of my time. And then, but sometimes we do get the chance to sit in a room and watch something together, which is always really. It's just a different experience. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah. And so the event so it already started. It started last night, but it runs through basically October 5th through the 15th. So next Sunday is the last day of the festival.
Yes. So we have, last night was our opening night, and then starting today, it's 10 full days, morning to night of back-to-back screenings in the many different venues that we're in. So lots of opportunities to see films. And then we will actually have certain films available as like a streaming program after the festival.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, just for a week after the festival. So the 16th, starting the 16th and then through that Sunday. I don't know what day that is, but the 20-something. So it's not all the films, unfortunately, but a selection of them will be available for streaming for folks who are maybe not in the area or didn't get a chance to catch something in person, and they'll get a second chance.
And is this event all free, or how does that work?
So some of the programs are free, but most of the film screenings, you do have to purchase a ticket. So you can go to mvff.com to check out the different price levels and stuff. We do have discounts for students, for children, I think 12 and under. I think, and members of the California Film Institute as well. And there's, different events and films are kind of different prices. So we'll throw those out there, but go to the website and check it out.
And for the like after film,
like the after party?
Yeah, the after parties basically. What is that? How do you get
access into that?
Yeah, so it depends on the event. Sometimes they'll sell it as like a package deal where you buy like a ticket to the film and the party, and it's like a little extra cost just to cover the food and the drinks and all that. So sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's a separate thing that is more open to anyone that's like a guest of the festival, or that went to a certain screening. Sometimes they're like private events that are like really small, so it kind of runs the whole spectrum.
And I also want to mention that so for this applies to anyone watching or anyone hearing this right now, there will be 2 films that we will be able to basically we have a whole bunch of tickets for a movie called Patrol.
Nice.
If you want to maybe talk a little bit about have you watched it? Was that one of
it's not one of the ones that I programmed, but I'm really excited to hear that you have tickets to give out. That's awesome.
It seems like it's a documentary film from Nicaragua.
Yeah.
And we have 20 tickets actually allocated for Multicultural Center Marin.
Awesome.
Just our community. So again, if you guys are interested in that, just send us a DM on Tay, and we can just confirm with you, unless there's a different process for that. No? Okay. So just, so we'll just be fine like that.
Awesome.
And when we also have 20 tickets reserved for River of Desire.
Nice.
Which seems like a very intimate type of film. But also seems interesting. Also a Brazilian film.
Yeah.
So similar to last year's Charcoal movie.
Yeah. Keep the tradition going.
Keeping the tradition going. And both of these movies, so Patrol will be on October, is it for both dates, October 8th and October 9th? Or is it just, either date, October 8th or October 9th. So the October 8th, which is on Monday, I believe, Sunday. On Sunday, October 8th, at 3 p.m., you can catch Patrol there. Or the next day, Monday, October 9th, at 11 a.m., you can watch it as well. Sorry. So I know that was super convoluted, but the Monday, October 8th showing will be in in Mill Valley at the Sequoia Theater. And the Monday, October 9th showing will be in the Raphael Theater here, San Rafael.
Awesome.
And then the River of Desire will be at October 6th over at the Sequoia Theater right now, actually, at 4.
Oh.
So actually, you can catch it on October 10th, which is on Tuesday at 4:30 here in San Rafael. So even closer. So,
Nice.
Yeah. We'll probably announce that again on our social medias just so everyone's aware, but just to put that out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hope people take advantage of that. Love to see you all there.
I hope I can make it to one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Oh, wow.
I want to give another shout out to Joao.
Yeah.
So many shout outs.
Because, I should have mentioned he also is the manager of our Vive el Cine program, which is an initiative we have in the festival and throughout the organization as well, that highlights cinema from Latin America, also Latinx content in the U.S. and any other countries and other diaspora communities around the world. So both of those films you mentioned are part of that initiative. So I just wanted to give that a shout out. There's a bunch of other films in there too. Really, really exciting ones.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
And wait, for the tickets, people would just need to DM us?
Yeah, they could just DM us and we'll give them the information.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Make sure to DM Tay or the Multicultural Center.
Yeah, they could DM Tay or MCM.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go back a little to when yesterday, basically, for the first day of the event. How was that? And what were the films that were shown?
Yeah, so last night, our opening night film is called The Day of the Fight. It's a first feature film actually from director Jack Houston, who has done a lot of acting before, but this is his first time directing. It's a really, really beautiful film in black and white. It's about a boxer who kind of has like a dark past and is sort of on a journey on the day of a big fight to visit people that have been, meaningful, impactful in his life and, sort of making amends with people. So it's really emotional, beautiful, tender film, which you might be surprised by for it being a boxing film, but it was a really, really wonderful premiere. I think it was a North American premiere last night. For our opening night film. So that was really special. And then we had, our opening night party where we got to kick everything off. So it was a very celebratory event to kick off the whole festival. But just that one film for opening night. So it was all focus on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's premiering? I think premiering tonight is
Yeah, so we have several film premieres throughout, but our big night tonight is called The Zone of Interest. So that's going to be
at the Raphael, I believe.
Yes. That's going to be at the Raphael. It's a special screening, I guess is how we're framing it, and the actor from the film, Christian Friedel, is going to be in attendance too. So that's exciting. So that's our kind of big one tonight, but there's of course a bunch of other films happening as well that are, kind of, I guess, quote unquote regular screenings, but they're all special to us in our hearts. So if you can't get into the big ones or whatever one you had your eye on, definitely look around to see what else is playing. That's a convenient, doable time for you. And I would recommend just going into something that you don't know anything about and just letting it, surprise you.
And I just wanted to ask so there's 148 films throughout the course of almost over a week. And how are all these films shown? Because don't they double play? As you said, there's one on the 8th and the 9th. How does that work?
Yeah, we usually try to show each film twice. It's not always that way. Some of them are 3 times. Some of them are just once for various reasons. But most of them we play twice. Hopefully that means that if there's something you really want to see, you at least, would be available for. Yeah. Or like word of mouth can build after a first one.
But does that go into the 148 or no?
Oh no! So it's 148 individual films. Wow. Yeah, and that's including short films. Oh. So we have several short film programs. So that's why that number seems so high. Probably is because a lot of them are short.
That's a good amount.
But it is a lot. It's
and to fit in almost over a week.
Yeah,
that is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Some people I know just kind of like block out their schedule and are like, I'm going to see 5 movies every day.
Oh wow!
So it can be done. Marathon, and you still would probably only see like a small section of them.
Yeah. So I guess speaking of all 148 movies, why don't we delve into what's upcoming? So what can people look forward to, or maybe you can highlight a few of the films that are coming up.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to highlight some. There's so many. I wish I could go into all of them, but but I'll definitely highlight some ones. I think I touched upon our family events. There's shout out to the Family Films programmer, Joanne Parsant, and the education team, Shakira and Deanna as well. Yeah. So they have curated a really, really incredible group of not only family films, family-friendly films, but kind of coinciding events with them. So I'll list some of them off. There's a really beautiful coming-of-age film called Fry Bread, Face and Me. Director Billy Luther is going to be here in person, do a Q&A for that. There's a film, Rosa and the Stone Troll, and that's going to have a free face painting and brownies after the screenings, both screenings. And there's also a special situation with that one where if your age is 12 and under and you wear your fairy wings to the theater, you will get a free small popcorn. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, that's not available for people over 12, but yeah. But you can still wear your fairy wings and just enjoy that.
That's cute. That's a cute idea.
Very sweet. There's also a film called Scirocco and the Kingdom of the Winds, which will include, or afterwards we'll have some desserts, face painting, balloon art, and a book raffle after both screenings of that.
Oh, fun.
There's a shorts program called Movies, Monsters, and the Moon. That includes a Bay Area short film called The Lake Merritt Monster, which is...
And I hope to plan to potentially make it to that one. I think there's a screening next weekend as well that we hope to maybe be a part of, because it looks cool. It looks really good.
It's awesome.
And it's, again, like a youth-oriented type of movie. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Are you able to see like a trailer of each one?
Yeah.
So each one has their own trailer?
Yeah, so in the description of this of the stream, and for those listening, you can go to mvff.com, and you'll find like the program section there, and it'll show you all the movies with all the trailers, all the tickets. I mean, that's where you can also go and just buy tickets for each of the films.
Yeah.
So, you can filter it out any way you'd like. I mean, one of the other movies I was really looking forward to was the new Studio Ghibli movie that's premiering.
Yes, The Boy and the Heron.
Yes,
it's beautiful, beautiful film. Yeah. Those screenings did go to Rush pretty quickly. There might be one that has tickets available. I'm not sure, but definitely check back because it's possible that more tickets will be released. So don't be discouraged. And, you could try the Rush line. What Rush means is that we've sold, it's, quote unquote sold out, but we do have a line. It's basically like a standby line. So if people don't show up, which happens all the time, right? People have other things. Kind of in the moment, usually kind of right before the start time, if they're like, oh, you know what, we actually have 10 empty seats, we can take people from the standby line. And I've found that people have had good luck with that in the past. So it's not a guarantee that you'll get in, but I think it's worth a shot for not just that film, any film.
You go and you still go like and wait, and then you wait to see.
Yes. So you, there's like a standby line area. So you could have a backup plan, maybe like, oh, if I don't get into this one, I can do the film that starts at, the next half hour or something like that, so that you don't just go all the way there and might be disappointed.
And I think what's interesting too, so another movie that I was looking at was for tomorrow as well on October 7th is Perfect Days. Which is looks like a movie that takes place in Japan. And I was just looking at the trailer and just looks really good. So I'm I'm not sure if you've watched it yet.
I have not. That's another one that Joao programmed, but I really, really want to see it. It's sounds really, really good.
That's one I would recommend as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's opening tomorrow at 7. So
yeah. One of the films we talked about before too is a really exciting film called Radical that is playing on Sunday. It's a 11:15 a.m. Start time in San Rafael.
Yeah.
And we're super excited about that screening because the lead actor, Eugenio Derbez, is going to be with us. So that's super exciting. He'll be there for a Q&A after the screening, along with one of the producers of the film, Joshua Davis. So yeah, really, really excited about that.
It's super great because Eugenio Derbez is just such an iconic Mexican actor. Yeah. I mean, have you heard of like La Familia Peluche?
Yeah.
Wait. He's the main guy in that show. Like
him?
Yeah.
The dad, right?
Yeah, the dad.
He's the one that's going to be in this film?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So
I grew up watching that.
Yeah, me too. That's I'm like,
awesome.
This is a super incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
What's his role in it?
He's the main.
He's the lead. Yeah, it's an amazing role for him. It's based on a true story of a teacher in Mexico in like a border town who just kind of revolutionized the way this middle school class was being taught and really empowered his students to kind of dream big and to like reach their full potential and explore their interests in ways that they hadn't been encouraged to in the past. So it's an amazing true story, and his performance is like incredible. He brings so much of that humor and that warmth that he's like known for, but it's also, quite serious as well. So there's that heft and that power behind it. I think it's going to like really blow people away. So I'm excited for it.
Oh, wow. I really liked him also in Instructions Not Included.
Oh, yeah, that's like
you
great.
watched that movie. You watched that
yeah.
movie. That movie was super
I watched that,
too.
definitely.
I remember when that came out, yeah.
That reminded me, the film, the way you described it reminded me of Freedom Riders.
Oh, yeah.
Like how the teacher kind of motivates the students.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. Completely different countries, though.
Yeah, but it's still the same concept, same theme. Concept. Yeah,
totally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to see if I can.
Yeah. We're definitely planning that. So look out there for potentially seeing Tay at that premiere.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay. Wait, what is it called again?
Radical.
It's called Radical.
Radical.
Yeah.
And do you know how long it is?
Yeah, the film's about 2 hours long.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Is it considered a film? Still,
yeah.
After 2 hours.
Yeah. Films are there's a huge breadth of runtime. Some of them are like
films and movies the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It can be used interchangeably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for this whole event, what is like the whole process to it? I know you do like a little section of it. You watch the movies, but you know like the whole entire concept. If you can break it down.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So for my part of it, programming starts kind of early. We're watching a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of research too, of just seeing what's coming out. We get submissions to the festival too, so watching those, and I like to do a lot of research on the filmmakers just to see like what they're about and what they want to put out there. So it's communicating with the filmmakers and all of that, and then throughout the process we're kind of like narrowing down this, from this big chunk to our sort of like favorites, things that we think will be a good fit for the festival, for our audience. And then kind of looking at like the overall balance too, like, so we're noticing there's a lot of films with like this particular theme. Is that something we want to explore further, or things like that, just making sure there's a good balance. And then we land on, sort of like the final program at like the end of August. And then throughout this process, there's of course a lot of preparation that happens for like the event as well. Of course, like making sure we have all the venues locked in and ready to go, making sure we're, there's whole teams that are doing all of the marketing, the publicity, the operations side, making sure we actually have like the staff that can run the theaters and all of that. There's so many moving parts to it, and months and months of preparation. So right now we're in like activation mode, and the festival is actually happening. So it's the work of like hundreds of people really all coming together.
Yeah, I imagine. Wow. And this is like a year-long process, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. My contract personally is just about 6 months, but for a lot of people, it's year round. Yeah, they're like probably already thinking ahead to next year.
They're like, what are we gonna put next year?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow. Do you guys get a lot of like the same filmmakers a lot of the time or no?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, we love to have returning filmmakers and just to like follow along on their journey. So yes, definitely that. We also love to work with local filmmakers. There's such a great community of local filmmakers here, especially documentary filmmakers, but not only that. So we have some folks that are really integrated into like, our community of filmmakers that we work with quite a bit. But it's also really important for us to, allow space for new and like emerging voices into the mix too. So it's definitely good to have that balance, I think.
Totally. And okay, so moving forward, continuing on with the events and films that are being shown, what can people expect on Monday? October,
sure.
Yeah.
So Monday,
October 9th, yeah.
Yeah, Monday, October 9th. Let's see. Well, it's another full day of screenings.
Every day.
So yes, every day is a full day. So definitely look online and see, browse what's playing that day and see what interests you. We do have sort of like a big night screening that night, which is The Bike Riders is the name of the film, with director Jeff Nichols, who's going to be here. It's a spotlight award for him. So we have several awards that we give to certain guests that we honor throughout the festival. We call it the MVFF Award. It's like a little statue. So that will be a big, exciting night for Monday.
Yeah.
I should mention Monday is also the day that we start having some screenings at the Roxy Theater in San Francisco. So we'll be there as well. We actually have a screening of Radical there.
Okay,
unfortunately, Eugenio will not be there for that one. So if you want to see him, definitely come on Sunday. But we'll have that at the Roxy, as well as a film called Mustache, which I really love. That's a Bay Area filmmaker. No longer lives in the Bay Area, but grew up in the Bay Area, made this film about coming of age in the Bay Area in the 90s. So it really spoke to my heart as a 90s kid. So that's also at the Roxy that night. But there'll be plenty of films in Mill Valley and San Rafael as well.
And many of these films aren't located in Mill Valley specifically.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
That's the one thing, because it's called the Mill Valley Film Festival.
Yeah.
But it's
it plays at the Raphael Theater. It plays at the Sequoia is the theater that's in Mill Valley.
Yes.
And then plays at the Roxy in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Why is it called Mill Valley Film Festival?
Yeah, that's
probably
a good
expanded over
question.
time.
Yeah.
Did it just start off there?
That's a good question, because the theater that we operate is in San Rafael, but I think it's always had this connection to Mill Valley and the community there. So I think the Sequoia Theater is like definitely a big, like a space that people really associate with the Mill Valley Film Festival, and that community really enjoys going to. But I actually don't know if it was ever, if they considered naming it like San Rafael Film Festival,
Or maybe just like Bay Area Film Festival.
Well, there's probably something that has that name already. Right?
There's a lot of Bay Area film festivals, so maybe it would just be confusing. I don't know.
Then probably.
Or Marin County Film Festival.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Yeah, that seems.
That we're just going on.
We'll bring it up. I mean, I'll bring it up the chain.
Because I was like kind of confused. Because I know we went to the one in Mill Valley, so then I thought all of them were being aired there, but then I realized that a lot of them are also being aired at the San Rafael Theater. I didn't know about the San Francisco till now, but I thought it was maybe just because they didn't have like enough room to show all of them there. And
it's a lot of movies.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. That's what I was thinking.
Totally.
Theaters.
Totally.
Because also growing up, I always thought it was just specifically in Mill Valley.
Yeah.
And I would always just be confused when I would see like people lining up at the Raphael Theater, because I'd be like, wait, what? I thought it was in Mill Valley. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's definitely a little confusing, but we are in San Rafael quite a bit. And one of the reasons is because that theater has like 3 different theaters in it.
Oh, yeah.
And Sequoia has 2. So just like the nature of the math, I guess, is that there'll be more in San Rafael.
And having just one and holding 148 films, I think is a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like 24 hours a day. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Wait, what time to what time are these films all shown? Because I know it's from day to night.
Yeah.
So how long is that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on the day. Sometimes the public screenings can start as early as, like 11 or so.
Yeah, it seems like they can be from 10:30 or 11 usually in the mornings. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
They last till night.
they last till some of them can go until like probably 10:30, 11. Probably not that far after that, but
I remember when we went, I think we left around 12.
Yeah, well, that's because we went to the after party.
That was like the after party.
Yeah,
It
the
ended
after
at
party.
12.
Yeah.
So it's just cool because again, like opportunities like that are so rare for I think us, especially like youth in Marin, to like be able to experience that. So that's why we're really trying to highlight all these films, because it's good to just start getting us out there, because these are some really good movies that are being shown. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the youth that I know, a lot of the people that I grew up with, we never really went to the movies to go to Raphael Theater to go watch movies, because most of the movies at the Raphael Theater are like independent films. They're not like the blockbuster movies that you find. But like, even more recently, I've been more interested in the Raphael Theater because the theater that usually the Sarah Feld kids would go to is in Northgate, at the Northgate Mall. But the Northgate Mall is just on its last legs, and it's just it's like no one wants to go watch a movie there. Everyone would rather go watch, if they're gonna watch like a blockbuster movie, they'd go to Novato to go watch it, instead of going to the Northgate Mall. It's just but then that leaves the Raphael Theater here for us to maybe explore more of those films that they show there. And it's right here, on 4th Street. So
I honestly thought when I was younger, like when I was like in middle school and elementary, I always thought that the Raphael Theater was like just like really old films that were being shown.
I mean,
I literally thought that because I'm like, I've never.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was just like totally like just directed to like older people, and it was just like all old films.
No, that's fair. That's real. No, I mean, we're definitely hoping to like revitalize, bring in some new exciting audiences, and I would definitely put a plug in there for the indies. Like I know they don't have the exciting buzz of
but we should also just keep note that the whole point of this too is to bring you guys, the youth, the Tay people, to like come here and just check it out, like because it does exist. It does, because I know that is the general consensus that a lot of us youth are in it. We're like, oh well, it's just the older people who go to that. It's like whatever. It's like no, like a lot of these movies are actually really good here in the Mill Valley Film Festival. Like actually take the time to like take a look at some of them, and you'll get it to enjoy. And also the theater, the Raphael Theater and the Sequoia Theater, they're really nice.
It's really
way better than the Northgate theaters. So it's like
and we got 20 free tickets,
so we have 20 free tickets
well
for Patrol and River of Desire. So
I feel like
plugging that in again.
I feel like the film festival kind of helps, like it's meant to promote those filmmakers that aren't really being put out there, helps them put out their movies.
Totally.
And
all the independent filmmakers.
Exactly.
Totally.
And I feel like a lot of youth should see that a lot of what am I trying to say? Okay, a lot of youth that are in the process of wanting to be like filmmakers, like Miguel. We have like a local filmmaker.
We have a local filmmaker. His name is Miguel Rodriguez. He's great.
To help them see that this is a potential, maybe they could submit their movies, their shorts to you guys, and you guys could evaluate them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anyone out there that's even just like a little bit interested, a little bit curious, maybe you don't really know, but I would definitely encourage coming out. Introduce yourself to me if you see me there. I would love to meet young filmmakers, but definitely scope that out. It's the best place to learn about films and to hear from the filmmakers too. We have so many filmmakers that are coming, and we'll do a Q&A. Like that's a unique thing that you won't necessarily get at like another movie theater. You get to directly like ask a question to a director and talk to them maybe after a little bit and get some advice, get some good like tips and tricks for how to make it and how to just to like empower you to keep pursuing your art, because we need those. We need that, new filmmakers. We need your voices in the mix. Like we really We really do. So
yeah. Like Miguel and Devin are the two filmmakers. They're from San Rafael, and they live here, and they have actually both had one or two of their films be aired at the Larkspur Theater. Yeah, and they kind of already have like that set in foot. But it's like their movies are like really, really good, and they're very entertaining. And I feel like if they're put more out there, they would go pretty far with it.
Exactly. So it actually brings up a great question. What if there is a local filmmaker that we know? How can they apply for the Mill Valley Film Festival? Or what is the process of that, right?
Yeah, totally. So a few points I should make. We have, we use a platform called Film Freeway for submissions. It's a platform that a lot of different festivals use. So if you want to apply to Mill Valley or, any other film festivals around the world, you can do it all through that one website, filmfreeway.com.
Film Freeway, okay.
Yeah, so you kind of like put your film up there. You can put sort of information on like, the credits and stuff. You can also put like a director's statement, which is really cool. So you can say like what inspired you to make this film, what it means to you, and you can just give that kind of like personal note. And then that's the platform that we as the programmers use to evaluate all of them. But another thing I want to say is if you are a filmmaker who is going to go through that process, it's definitely worth reaching out. Like for the Mill Valley Film Festival, reach out to us. You can email mvff@cafilm.org. And that'll go straight to our programming manager who manages all the submissions. That's why I mentioned that. And I would just do that outreach just to say, hey, I'm, a local filmmaker. I have this film I'd like to submit. And we can like start that conversation to get that, that personal connection. Cause that definitely helps. Yeah. We definitely want to build those relationships.
Are there any rules for the film like that you're submitting, like that you can't use this or that?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends. For short films, there's fewer rules. For feature films, sometimes it's like we would strongly prefer to have like the Bay Area premiere. So if it played somewhere else in the Bay Area before, sometimes that might like impact if it'll get in. I'm trying to think. We don't have too many restrictions here. But, if it's already like up online streaming, then we probably wouldn't show it. But for shorts, there's a lot more freedom. It's a lot looser in terms of those guidelines. I would say just make sure that like in terms of like the music you use and stuff like that, that you have it licensed. That would be like a rule. So there's different kind of like, I don't know this world that well, but I think there's different like licenses you can get to use certain music. And there's also, of course, a bunch of music that's like, free and doesn't require that. So that's probably worth looking into.
That's just a good thing to follow in general when you're making a movie, just so you don't get into any legal trouble.
Totally.
Just definitely. Well, the cool thing about Miguel is that he's also an artist. So he also does like his own music.
Wow. That's amazing.
Very talented guy.
That's so cool.
Hopefully he gets encouraged to submit.
I gotta meet him. Yeah, that's so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please reach out to us.
It'd be cool to have like both of you guys, or like with Devin, like 3 of them.
Yeah, to come and talk. Yeah, we'll set something up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I guess just move. Yeah, I know we've been kind of going all over the place.
Yeah,
it's exciting. Film is exciting.
It is. It is.
So what else do we have upcoming, or what kind of other events or activities?
Yeah.
Actually, I actually. Sorry, I know I keep asking you this, but then I remember like, I remember this one thing. Yeah. So I think there's something called Beyond the Gap, or it's just like a summit.
Yeah. So Mind the Gap.
Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there's another program that I think I can mention later, but Mind the Gap is an initiative that the film festival has. It's our gender equity initiative. So supporting female filmmakers, non-binary filmmakers, gender non-conforming filmmakers, specifically, in their pursuits to make films. It's really, as I said before, super hard to make a film. It's in many instances even harder to make your second film. So just to an initiative that's geared towards making, filmmaking an actual sustainable career choice for anyone of marginalized gender. So we have the Mind the Gap Summit, which is kind of a full day of events this coming Saturday, the 7th. So starting at 9 a.m., going until about noon, we have a series of like panel conversations, a series of different topics and guests speaking to different areas of the industry, including like animation or indie film directing, stuff like that. We have an award that's being given to Dr. Jamaica Anderson, who's the founder of Black Girls Film Camp, which is a really great program. So that'll be really exciting on that day. And then that day we also just have like a series of Mind the Gap films playing. So that's kind of the focus that day. There's also other Mind the Gap events that happen sort of throughout the rest of the festival, but on that day it's like a really concentrated one.
Gotcha.
And then I also want to mention Behind the Screens, which is maybe where you got Beyond from. I don't know.
Maybe.
But Behind the Screens is our series of for like panels and conversations, master classes. Those are all free events. Actually, the Mind the Gap Summit is free as well, I should have mentioned. So behind the screens events are free as well. You just need to get a ticket. So you can RSVP for like a free ticket online on mvff.com and take a look at all the different conversations. There's ones about like...
Yeah, there's like one on animation.
With John Musker, who's an animator that's worked on a bunch of Disney films. And then now is, working as an independent animator, which is really cool. There's one on filmmaking with Chloe Dumont, who's a new exciting filmmaker. There's a panel on like AI, a panel on virtual filmmaking, a panel on accessibility in exhibition spaces, and that's shown with a film called Telephone that's about audio description for people that are blind or low vision, specifically for dance films. It's really fascinating. That'll be a really, really great event.
So that's good. So there's plenty of masterclasses out there for people who are interested in getting into film and just starting out as well.
These are all free.
These are all free. So this is actually really great. So you can find, all of these on the mvff.com website. That's great. Thank you for mentioning those.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking.
And then I'd also just like to highlight one other film. Have you called Skin of Glass? Have you had a chance to watch that?
Yes, it's beautiful.
So Skin of Glass is another film that MCM is actually partner with for that film, and it's premiering on October 14th. So it's during the last few days of the festival.
Yes.
So October 14th, I believe, is next Saturday. At 5:15 p.m. It seems like the tickets are at Rush, but I'm sure we can figure something out for anyone who might be interested in showing that film as well, or watching that film as well.
So Rush means that they're sold out.
It means that they're sold out, but we'll have that Rush line.
That Rush line, okay.
But there's also the possibility that some tickets may free up. So it's a little bit of a weird situation, but I would say just kind of check back and see. And like you said, maybe we can try to work something out.
And it's also a documentary.
Yes.
Another documentary film.
Yeah.
Which I think
by a local filmmaker.
It takes place in Brazil. Right? It highlights Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a local filmmaker, Denise Ismekel, who local documentarian, and it's a really personal story to her. So it's this really beautiful personal documentary, which I really love. I think there's a lot more of now. Filmmakers kind of infusing their own personal story into their documentaries, which it just provides such a great like entry into this person's experience. And for that first screening, the composer of the film is going to be there and going to do a short performance after the film. So that's another like really cool aspect of it.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
Yeah,
a performance, not like a Q&A.
There will be a Q&A as well, and then the performance will be kind of like folded into it. So
it also sounds like another great opportunity.
For sure.
Watch.
She's a local filmmaker too, so getting to talk to her could be just the beginning of a cool relationship.
I think the Mill Valley Festival brings like almost everything to it. And I really hope that I'm able to be able to go to a few of them. And we're almost close to the end of the show. We have 5 minutes left. No. Is there anything that you would like to highlight from the Mill Valley Festival that people should know about before going? First timers, anything like that?
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have so much I want to talk about. Okay, let me mention one more film that we programmed. It's called Fancy Dance. Bookending this back to the beginning, the director, Erica Tremblay, she's going to be here with us. We're actually honoring her on Director's Night on Friday the 13th. And really exciting to have her. It's her narrative debut. She's made a couple of documentaries before, but she's a really, really exciting new voice in independent film. It's a beautiful film. It stars Lily Gladstone. It's about an aunt and a niece searching for their missing relative, and it sheds light on murdered and missing Indigenous women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really important topic, and it's done in a way that's really personal, really intimate, and really dynamic. You know, they're fully well-rounded characters, so there's a lot of joy and there's a lot of beauty and connection and power in the story. So I want to mention that. Oh, the reason why I said it's bookended is because she also works on Reservation Dogs. So the director. So needless to say, I'm a big fan of her work. So we have that screening on the 13th. And then there's going to be another screening the next day on the 14th, but that's over in Berkeley. So just wanted to mention those. But overall, I would really just kind of reiterate what I said before, is just to kind of seek out something, you know, browse through the website and see something that maybe like the image catches your eye, or the trailer, if there is one, or the description. And it may not be something that you recognize any actor from, or the director, or something like that, but it could be something entirely new to you. And just kind of like go with that and allow yourself to be like totally just like discover something. That's what's really exciting.
And there's so much variety in the festival, like
so
master classes, short films, feature films, animation, all of it, So you can really you'll find something you'll like. Like it'll be really hard to not find something you don't want to like be like, oh, that looks interesting. Like, just scrolling through the website, you'll find something. But thank you so much, Celeste, for coming on our show today. It's really been our first time really talking with someone
from the Mill Valley
Film Festival this deeply.
Cool.
And like I said before, like for everyone, like we were reiterating, just check out the festival. I know there's this whole concept that we've had in our heads growing up, like, oh, well, it's just old people and it's just all these old boring films, but
they're not
true. That is just not true. It is not true. So again, we highly recommend you all. We've linked the website for finding all these films here on the Taste stream. But again, you can find it at mvff.com. But yeah, thank you so much. Kimberly, did you have any final thoughts?
I would just also say the same thing. Check it out. I'm sure you'd find something you'd like. I felt like when I went to go see Charcoal, it wasn't necessarily something that I think I would see picking it out, but I actually really loved the film. It was really emotional in a way, seeing the family and then the actors and then seeing the actual actor. Like she looked completely different. But so I'm sure you'd like something, or maybe try something new that maybe you don't know if you'd like. And I would just like to say thank you, Celeste, for coming on and being on the show.
Yeah, and also if anyone, again, just to reiterate as well, the tickets that we have available are for the movies River and Patrol. So again, River of Desire and Patrol. Those are 2 movies that we have plenty of tickets for. So again, if you guys are interested in it, please just reach out to us through our Tay Radio Marin Instagram, as well as the MCM.
And I think the more people will get it, the more maybe we'll have next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, we're just continuing this partnership. And again, thank you thank you so much, Celeste, for your time today and for making this whole festival function and be possible. So
for choosing all these films.
Big team effort. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Of course. All right.
Thank you, guys.